What's going on there, Strength Family? How you guys doing today? Hope everything's going good with you guys. Today, we are going to do some overhead press work. We're actually going to do a twofer here. Do some overhead presses, and we're going to do some push presses. I believe, again, 2 cents. This is my 2 cents on the whole thing. I believe doing some push presses along with your overheads is beneficial. Reason why, that push press, when you're holding it up top, that overload of weight is bringing you into the game of being able to bring that regular overhead press up a little bit within reason. You start going too heavy and too crazy, and next thing you know, you drop the bar on your head, and got little Tweety birds above your head because you're dead. So, what we're gonna do, I've already done my warm ups. 135, 185, 205. We're at 2 1/4 right now. And I like my fives anywhere between 3 to 5 reps. And then once I go up high, and then I go to like doing my push press, well, then I'll come back down, and then I'll try to like get some good reps out. And then sometimes I'll mix my overheads with the push at the same time. So this is what we're going to do. Now, when you do these on your overheads, you're going to notice that one of the big things is your elbows. When you're pressing, right, and we're going through this and you're pressing, what you don't want to do is have your elbow back here. We don't want to have our elbows back and then we go for our press and then we come forward with that elbow. What I want you to do is, a lot of CrossFitters will do it this way. Keep those elbows forward, and a lot of the strong men, world's strongest man, the Eddie Halls and Brian Shaws and all the greats, elbows are going to be forward. That allows you to kind of get a toss, work, and that elbow gets a nice little snap to it. If you're here, you got to kind of roll and come in. Again, also remember your arch. When you do this, chest is going to come forward. You're going to put an arch in, just like your bench press. You're going to put an arch in with those elbows forward. Up you go, down you go. Make sure your head, it's going to either be back or you can look up a little bit. But what we don't want to do is come out here and then come here and then come out here and then come here. You're going to really screw things up in that sense. That's where you start to really throw the body weight off. And if you got, your own body weight, I don't care if you're 135 or 335, if you got your own body weight overhead, well, dangerous things can happen. And for the love of God, I've seen some of the stuff that's out there. Do not do a suicide grip on overhead presses. Holy crap. How much crap are you smoking if you're going to sit there and do that? I'm sorry. You're doing a suicide grip on an overhead press? Duh. Don't do that. Grab the bar. And your width. Pick something that's going to be, start at shoulder width, roughly. I'm always out just slightly. If you go out too wide, you'll start to notice, especially with the elbows forward, you'll start feeling it in your shoulders. Play with your grip. Obviously, you don't want to go too narrow, but play with your grip. Now, like I said, you could see how, I lean things back, getting that arch in, building that shelf up top, and being able to just have your drive. Sorry, let me take the mouthpiece out here. But be able to just have that drive. Make sure when you're going through, you feel the head come through. We're not doing a straight up incline type of press. Now, some people, and I guess I could fall in suit with some of these guys. If I'm really trying to work some like big time heavy weights, if I'm really trying to like get my push press up there, I will do the weight. I got no other way of saying it, but kind of like an incline press. I won't lock myself all the way out. So meaning, when I come through, I'm not here and then locking through. I'll be here and I'll push it and I'll be here. So I'll stay right there instead of being here and then pushing myself through. I kind of keep it out in front of me so I can just move the weight. Just bop, 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 just move the weight. There's times where moving that weight, it is important because it's helping, build your core. Even on the way down, you're resisting that negative on the way down, So it is very, very important, to make sure your technique's good, make sure everything is safe. You're not overdoing it. Say your best is 2.25. You're not going to try to do 275 or 315 that way, but you can go up. I'm not going to cover that today. If you guys want that, hit it down in the comments that you want to see that. What could we call it? Almost like a standing incline push press. I'll make it up as I go, but they are beneficial. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to go up a little bit here. Like I said, I go up. Sorry, weights are over there. So I'm going to go up now. We'll go to a nice easy 250. And I'm going to show you, for me, what I would consider on a push press doable. If you get too much leg drive, you're like front squatting this thing and launching it up. Yes, it would argue the fact of, well, you said when you're holding it over your head. Yeah, but just be careful. All right. I mean, the biggest thing is just be fucking careful. So we'll go to a nice easy 250. Ooh. One more thing to note. When you start kicking into push press, standard overheads, if you don't want to use a belt, and you're getting that 5 rep in, you don't have to use a belt. Use it accordingly to your goals. But I will say this, if you're doing a push press or the incline, what the fuck did I call it? The standing incline push press, then put a belt on. Put a belt on. All right, so I'm gonna go grab the belt. Wherever the fuck I put it. Oh, there it is. So, also, load your belt the same way you would load it for squatting. All right? So what do I mean by that? Break the belt. And if you guys don't understand what break the belt means, put it on to where you can maybe get a finger width in. All right? And at that point, you know how you push against the belt. Okay. You want to imagine like you're trying to your stomach's trying to burst through and you're trying to break the belt. All right. So if you're going through this and you don't feel that pressure as you're going through, or maybe you're at the top of the press and you just kind of notice that. If anything, your body knows to make that press movement. Again, this is a technique thing. You teach your body the technique through the strict press. When we start moving on to push press, it's a little more violent. It's a little more, hey, let's move some weight around. So at that point, your body knows how to do that movement. All right? So just put it into your brain, break the belt. If you feel that belt going soft at any point, push harder against that belt, okay? So here's what we're going to do. All right. So now we're going to do our little push press. Now this is going to be kind of a timing thing. All right, you're not going to get this right away in the beginning. You're going to absorb the weight. So once you press, you're going to drop down, you're going to shoot it up, which obviously is going to give you the help. You're going to push it up, boom, you're going to lock it. When you come back down, you're going to absorb the weight. Think of like being in the bathtub, or at least I did this when I was a kid. But think about being in the bathtub, right? And you'd go all the way forward, and then you'd like kick your legs, and you'd shove your legs, and you'd move back, and then the waves would start going, and then you'd try to get in sync with the wave. So, you'd move forward, the wave would hit you. You go back, the wave would hit you. But all of a sudden, you could get in sync with it, and you could make like almost the entire tub of water move with you, right? That's being fluid with it. So as it comes down, absorb it, and throw it back up, okay? Don't be rigid, but you have to learn that rhythm. That's what I mean by you're not going to get it in the beginning. It takes time. You got to learn it, okay? So, that being said, let's get moving here. Same grip, same everything else. You're just doing a push press. So, 3 easy ones. I haven't done these in, it's been a while. It's definitely down. But, again, if you guys are following Strength Family, and I'll be putting stuff up with clients and things like that. If you guys want to see that, hit it down in the comments that you'd like to see some of the clients that we work with as well. But, with the, we just ended up doing the Michigan State powerlifting meet. Or at least Jenny ended up doing it. She ended up winning, well, she ended up getting a couple of these and then set 2, I believe it was 2 Michigan State records. So she was doing good. The focus has pretty much just been on her, at least probably the last 4 or 5 weeks, just making sure that, she's on point and on game. So I've been slacking, man. I've been slacking. But it's good. So then that way you guys can, see the progression of how it should be. So trying to get back into the swing of, getting my overheads, down again. And hey, man, step at a time. There's decades of just up, down, up, and down. Man, there's always hills and valleys. Most of the time you don't recognize which one you're in until you're at either the peak or at the bottom and you're looking up or you're looking down where it was like, ooh, that was my peak. And now we're going down. Well, I'm in a valley. And you just got to work through it, man. Just slow progression. Keep climbing up. All right? You guys keep it going. So now let's move it up a little bit. Oh, it was 250. That didn't feel too bad. So we'll go 275. See how this feels as the push press? And when I'm doing push presses, and you guys don't have to follow exactly, but when I'm doing push presses, I think 3. Because if we're using them in the category of an overhead press, well, then it is cheating. Push presses are also by themselves. I love watching World Strong. I've watched it all, probably since mid-90s, I would say. And, you watch a lot of their overhead press stuff, they're doing push presses. I mean, they're doing push presses. So, I don't look down at it. I mean, it's still, if you're push pressing and you can do 315 and you're doing an overhead push press with 315, you're still locking 315 over your head. That, I don't give a shit who you are, that's still super impressive. And the 405s and, it's all great, but I mean, even 275 overhead, I mean, that's a lot of weight for the average guy to throw over his head. It's good stuff, but I believe the strict press is kind of the core of it. If you don't have a good strict press, you're not going to have a good push press, or it's going to be really sloppy and ugly, and you're going to bail the weight and screw yourself up, or, what would be worse than screwing yourself up? Death! But you're not going to kill yourself. Sorry. Been a long day at work. So, all right, 275. Let's see how this feels. Oh, the magic belt. If you guys try this stuff out, again, warm up, start with the bar, even your warm-ups, make sure you're working shoulder rotation. Make sure that you're getting full range of motion in the shoulders, full flexibility in the shoulders. This is something that takes a lot of that range. You gotta make sure your rotator cuffs are up to the game. Make sure your lats are in the game. Because remember, when you're doing this on the downside, when you're doing the negative portion of this or the secondary portion of this, it's like doing a pull-up. You're dragging the weight down. You're resisting that weight. So your lats come into play in this. Keep that in mind. That's a secondary thing. You've got to have a strong back. So when we're doing push press, and you see me kind of bringing it down, and then I stop, and then I push through. I mean, there's a point where you can just rip them through. I don't know. I might do it with this. I might not. I'll know when I start lifting. But that negative resistance is a big, big key. I mean, it definitely does. You will definitely feel it in your back and everything else, rear delts. So keep in mind, warm those muscles up as well, okay? All right, here we go. All right, gotta get this damn belt up. All right. Let's have some fun. Oh. Okay. 3 good ones. Didn't feel bad. You can see what I mean by the timing on the push. Getting the belt off. Now, you can see what I mean by the timing on the push. You know, was there more in the tank? Yes. But the fact that I haven't done these in a really long time, I'll take 3. It's good. You know, I can't say that my ego isn't tapping me on the shoulder going, go 315. Not today. I want to make sure everything feels good. You know, it's been a long day at work, cutting, welding, fabricating, you know, and then it's, like I've mentioned before, coming home and then working with, well, the guys out there that are watching the YouTube videos that are clients, how you guys doing? Besides writing them all out for you, you can tell I'm working them as well. But, you know, it's still being able to come down here and get stuff done, and you can't rush the process. You know, I've mentioned that to you guys out there, clients as well. Don't rush the process. Always wait for the green light to the body. And I'm not saying that just because, you know, all right, I'm in my 40s, so, you know, you always got to wait. I'd be giving myself this advice when I was, 18, I was 15. Shit, when I started when I was 10. But warm up. Make sure that all the joints are loose, that, everything's coming into the game. You'd be surprised at how many times, say, a muscle just doesn't quite react as good as what it does day to day. Let's just say, your lat isn't firing as good as what it should. Well, what's the bad from that? Say you're doing something like this. Well, if your lat doesn't get into the game, what does? Rear delt, biceps, things like that. Well, you really don't want those smaller muscles taking over what a lat is supposed to do. So you can see what I mean by just go through. Take 5-10 minutes to warm up. What's an extra 5 or 10 minutes? Really? Give me a break. I mean, you got people out there like, oh, I'm so busy, blah, 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 blah. There is somebody busier out there than you. There's somebody trying harder there than you, so just take the time. You want to be able to keep doing this, right? You want to be able to keep doing this and have longevity and be able to slowly progress forward and constantly progress, right? Well, like I said before, there's hills and valleys. You screw something up like that, that is one dude fucking valley. That's right, dude frickin' valley. Well, let's try to make the valleys as low as possible with that mountain climbing up as high as possible. Well, that's the entire freaking goal here. So, listen to the body, get that green light. I think I'm gonna do another set of 3 at this, just because, you know, there's no specific written out program for me of what I'm doing. I'm kind of going by feel, but again, I've been doing this for 3 decades. So there is a point of going, all right, I'm listening to my body. After a while, you guys will be able to do that. You know, do I feel like pushing it a little bit? I don't know. We'll see how these 3 go. Maybe I'll go up to 295 or something like that. But let's see how these 3 go, okay? Okay. Another triple. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. So, now on the 3rd one, you can see where there's a little wiggle in there to get that head through and all that. Okay, you know, that's giving me a little bit of a tap on the shoulder. So, again, you know, listen to the body. What's it telling you? You know, I could go up a little bit, but then it's like, all right, do I want to do 2? You know, I could do 3, but I wouldn't be locking myself through. And that would be a little bit more on that realm of the, what was it? The standing incline push press. I'll get it down. I don't really have a name for it, but if you're moving through that way, like I said, you can get a lot more weight, but you rely more on the push off the press, and then you're just trying to resist it. It's more just moving weight, you know, where it's just like, I am just gonna manhandle and move the weight around. I'm not doing that today, especially if it's been a while since you ended up, you know, doing some of your lifts and all that. I would suggest not to do that. You know, maybe once things are back in the game, you know, once you're done with this, it's like, see how your back feels by tomorrow, you know, just play it out, see how things feel. So this is good. It was kind of the thought in my head. I was like, I'll go up to 275, maybe do 3 sets of 3. Then go down, back down to maybe 2.25, get some stricts in, and then maybe even, you know, go back down to like 205 or 185. It's lightweight, but where my strength is right now, no, it's not. You know, and that's an ego check. You know, a lot of people would look at it and go, well, I used to do 2.25 for an easy set of 10. Yeah, so did I. I can't do it right now. So then why am I going to try to prove it? To who? To me? I'm the only one freaking down here. And what am I going to do? Prove that to my clients, that I'm not thinking correctly? The things that I tell them to do that I'm not going to do? No, it doesn't make sense at all. So, listen to the body. Okay? All right. Yeah. So, we got the 2. Gonna try one more, see if I can get the 3. We'll go from there. And then, like I said, we'll drop down 2.25. All right, I gotta put the belt on. Remember, break that belt, hard as you can, push against that belt. All right, 3 more good ones. that second one. That second one was a incline push press. Blah, 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 blah. I felt me just go whack. Yeah. Keep a cool head and understand what you're doing while you're going through the movements. If you know you screwed one up or you were cheating on it, know that you did it. But I guess within that, you can take that as an example of how easy that second one went, where it was just like zap. Yeah, I could probably go through that and do 8, 10, but there's a time and place for it. And again, it's not worth doing that. Plus, again, the fact of if I sat there and did it that way, my back might start hurting. You know, the lower back, lumbar, things like that might start hurting. So even though that one felt good, and as soon as I did it, I knew what the hell I did. And I was like, oh, come on, come on. That's why that third one, I made sure I was straight and through, because that's the point. It, you know, the ego kind of comes into play a little bit there, where it's like, oh man, I could just start cranking them out like this. Get it in check. Or at least have that as your program, but get it in check, you know? Let's not hurt ourselves. So, let's drop it back down. 2 1/4. Hey Scott, what's been your best? Okay. Because I'm sure that might be a question. Most I have ever done was a 305 straight. The most I've ever done is a push press was 375. Am I there now? No. Do I want to be? Well, I'm trying. You know, the moment you quit, it's the moment you lose, so I'm never quitting. So, back to 2 1/4. Now, you know, with 2 1/4, I might not even get 5. You know what I mean? I can tell I haven't used. I don't know about you guys. Hit me down in the comments for you guys that do strict press and push press and all that. Do you notice that after a month of being off, how bad you go down in your strength and in your weights? It's like, holy shit. You know, same thing with squats. I mean, probably the same thing with any big, heavy, you know, majority type of weight. But son of a bitch, man. The shit's heavy today. Oh, but again, hit me down in those comments and let me know if you just noticed your strength just decline like week to week if you don't stay on, you know, your overheads and things like that. Oh, but I'm gonna give it a little bit more time. I don't have a clock down here, you know. I guess I can look at how long it's recording. Oh, but normally, you know, if you're going up heavy, I try to give myself about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. Unless I'm sitting here talking to you guys, and you know, sometimes I just ramble on, you know. So, okay, again, walking in circles trying to find my belt. Like I said, blonde, left-handed, and Polish. Whole lot working against me, but it's all good. It's all good. So I'm gonna see if I can get another 5. If I can't, then I'm gonna do a push press to get 5. Okay? So here we go. Shit, got my goddamn shirt. Oh. Fucker. Okay. All right. So we're gonna try for 5. Got to get this back to 10. Didn't get it. No big deal. Ah. Hey, no big deal. No harm, no foul. So, again, what I'll probably end up doing now is probably do maybe another set of this, go to try to get my 5, work down to my 185, go from there. And at that point, this is the beginning of back and shoulders for me. I always try to focus in on, you know, the hard power movements, you know, what's going to really trash you when you're your strongest in the beginning. So, that being said, I'm going to finish up with this. You guys have yourselves a good one. Again, hit me down in the comments. I'd like to know about you guys, and for you out there who are doing the strict press, you know, how bad do you notice things just drop when you take time off? So, anyways, hope you're all doing well. Let me know if there's some things out there that you guys would like to see, and I will try to put them up there. If it's stuff with triceps, biceps, chest, whatever. Maybe there's a couple of things out there that, you know, there's a lot of information that is just floating through YouTube, and I'm in the mix as well, but people get really confused on some of this stuff, and you got tons of people out there that are trying to reinvent the wheel when there's no need to do it. All right, I believe in the basics. They've done very, very well for me. So again, if you guys got anything, hit me down in those comments, let me know. All right, so adios, have yourself a good one, take care.